Well, let's, without further ado, focus on Jeff and have him join us because, of course, tonight it is Jeff Skinner night, and the first 10,000 in attendance will receive a Skinner beanie, which he has made famous on his walk-ins into the arena. Of course, it's a 7 o'clock start. We want you in your seats. Prior to that, it is Buffalo and Washington this evening. With the next member of the 1,000 Game Club, Jeff Skinner. Congratulations on the milestone tonight. How are you?
Thank you. I'm good, thanks.
10 times 100. That was pretty good on Between Two Stalls that was released last night.
Yeah, that was good. They surprised me with that one. I think, they did a good job keeping it secret until the day.
What did Dylan spray at you? What was that?
They have like a fake snow machine, I think.
Okay.
And, we used it on him, and then obviously somehow he found it. And you guys
it's in the closet somewhere.
Yeah.
How uncomfortable was it to be on that side of it?
I didn't have much time to think about it, so maybe that helped. But no, it was fun. I think they all did a good job, and they'd all been through it, so they knew how to make it go smooth. So I was pretty lucky.
Can I ask, going back to last year, why did you really want to do it? And I think people would want to know, why didn't you keep doing it this year? And I'm sure there could be many reasons.
Yeah, I think it just kind of, I don't even know exactly how it happened. It just kind of, I did the thing in FanFest a couple years ago where I went undercover, and obviously almost all of this stuff is not players' ideas. It's the people behind the scenes, the people who work for the social media team, and they obviously have better ideas than us, and they ended up it ended up becoming a thing, and then people liked it, so we just kept doing it. And this year I think we're going to kind of wait and see sort of how things played out, because I think we'd used a lot of the good characters on the team, and we wanted to see some of the young guys see how their personalities came out, and kind of if we could get some more material, because you need to have some kind of jokes that go with the guys. And then I think the season got going, and it kind of just didn't fit kind of like the schedule, or we were on the road and we couldn't really make it work, but they obviously found a way to get one more in there, so they made it work.
When you talk about the young guys, is Zach Benson's cameo at the end of the episode, and for those that haven't seen it, go and watch it. Was that part of his rookie lap, like rookie initiation type thing, like you're going to be closing out my episode today? Or did you even know that was happening?
I didn't know, no.
Okay.
And I don't know if this is all secret stuff, but I'm pretty sure it was supposed to be someone else. I'm not sure. And then it was late in the day, and there weren't many people left at the rink, and I think someone had taken off that was going to be the person that did it, and then they were just like, "Oh, Benny's here." And they were like, "Okay." I guess they put the wig on him, and he said, "Come do it," and he did a good job. I think there's maybe one or two bloopers of him, but I don't know if they'll make it out.
I'm hearing the bloopers may be part of our broadcast tonight. So.
Oh, okay.
Well, good.
He did a good job.
But maybe it's older bloopers. I don't know, but there'll be bloopers tonight. So.
They have a lot of material, so
yeah.
They don't have less to choose from, I guess.
Sammy with the distilled vapor hydration. He messed that up. Hydroxide.
On purpose, I'm quite sure.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Sammy's sneaky funny, and so sometimes a lot of his jokes kind of they go over people's heads. So I think maybe he tricked a couple of people with that one.
So 1,000 tonight, which is kind of like that funny joke on Between Two Stalls was, well, you haven't played 1,000 yet, like celebrating
exactly.
1,000 tonight. Have you had a chance to reminisce and think about, even your junior days and your draft and your career? Do you do that playing 1,000 games, or is it just another game? How does it feel for you?
Yeah, I kind of go back and forth, I think, between those two things. I think that it's obviously a big milestone, and but then again, tonight when we play, it's another game, and everyone else is playing the same game, and we're all on the same team, and we all have the same goal. But because of the ceremony that comes with it, I think you get asked kind of who do you like to thank, and who do you like to come to the game, and sort of my family and friends are coming, and a lot of people that have been instrumental in my life or my career are coming to the game, and they start reaching out, and I think that's when just kind of sort of by default you start to reflect back, and I think for me, the biggest thing is I realize kind of how fortunate I am to be in the position I am and to have been impacted by the people I have been in the past. I think that you start thinking about old teammates and sort of years that you've gone through, and maybe you wouldn't really give them any much second thought. But then when you start to reflect, you realize, actually, this person helped me in this way, and I've actually carried that along through my career, and it's still helping me now. So I think those things are always fun and nice to kind of reflect on, because it really makes you grateful for the people that have helped you get to where you are.
Would you prefer not to have this much attention on you or on one game?
I think I mean, it's been a lot. I think the social media team does a great job, but yeah, they're running with it, I think. And I mean, if people like it, it makes people laugh. Like, go ahead, I'm all for it. But
are there any pictures that they've released from your past that you don't appreciate being out on social media? Childhood pictures, teenage pictures, you know.
None that I've seen yet.
Okay,
I mean, there could be some I haven't seen yet, so I'm going to hold off on the comment there, but they've done a good job so far.
Okay, I go back to your well, it was your second year juniors, I believe, but then you made your jump to the NHL. You scored 50 goals that year. Finished second in goal scoring in the OHL that year. Do you remember who beat you, who was first in goals, and how many goals he had ahead of you?
I think his name is Brian Cameron.
Yes, it is Brian Cameron. He's an overager. You were a 17-year-old, and he was an overager.
Yeah, he's a good player. And then I want to say he had 53, maybe.
That's exactly correct. He had 53.
Yeah.
You're
might remember that number for some reason.
Yeah,
somehow,
true, yeah.
You're like, oh, I got beat by a guy that had 53 goals.
Yeah.
That's the number I'm going to pick when I get to Carolina, just as a reminder.
Yeah.
Okay. You got drafted 7th overall. Do you remember the 6 players right before you in order at the draft?
You put me on the spot here.
Well, the first
Taylor Hall, Tyler Sagan.
Yes, because that was the summer of the
Tyler, yeah. Good Branson.
Yeah.
4, I think, was Johansson.
Yes.
5 was it Niederreiter?
Niederreiter was 5.
6 was Brett Connolly to Tampa.
Brett Connolly. And then, trick question, who was after you? Who's number 8 to the Atlanta Thrashers?
Bermenstrom.
Yeah.
Wow.
Guy played 6 games in the NHL. That's maybe why the Thrashers didn't stick around long. But
why am I blanking on Johansson? Which Johansson?
Ryan Johansson
to Columbus.
I immediately thought Swede, and I'm like, there's no.
Oh yeah.
There was no.
Well, he got traded. Then he got traded. Yeah.
Seth Jones.
Exactly.
He
Thank
got
you.
traded.
Okay.
1 for 1.
See,
so.
my mind isn't always that sharp.
Well, these are trick questions from 2010.
Yeah.
And I'm not like a super draft junkie. Last one from my standpoint, Jeff. Obviously, you've talked about everything in your career, and you've been doing a whole bunch of media and stuff like that. Like, now that you're here, and you have a lot of years left, like, what are you looking at tonight? As far as there's 7 games remaining, you're playing Washington. Like, there's still a chance. Plus, you still have years to go in the NHL. Like, what is motivating you and driving you right now?
I mean, I just think it's kind of one of those things where maybe this event helps, but I think when you reflect and you start to be grateful for the opportunity you have, I think it's something that I don't think you need to remind yourself every day. I think it's kind of baked into being a hockey player in the NHL. I think you're playing the best league in the world. Your teammates with the best players in the world. I think so. You're around sort of a high performing group that's highly motivated, kind of by default. I think, and so I don't think anytime you play in the NHL, you should ever feel like you gotta try and get up for this one, because I think it's that high of a level, and we've got a lot of young guys, great talent, and it's exciting to see them progressing and making huge strides and continue to grow into themselves as players. And for me, getting to see that kind of even in practice, I think you see it in practice as a teammate more than you do in just the game. So I think that's kind of been my mindset. It kind of is an easy mindset to continue to have, because there's no real time limit on it. And I think that I'll probably continue thinking that way until I stop.
Last one for me. It's easy for us to go back and look at all your goals and your games and say, oh, this was one of his better goals. But I don't know that we can go back and there's a database for your better chirps or your better exchange with anybody. In the Two Stalls episode, they showed picture of you. One of them is you on the bench kind of, chirping back. The best chirp you've ever exploded at somebody or that you've ever received, and let's remember this is a early afternoon show.
Honestly, I don't really know that I have that great of ones. I think for me now, because and I don't want to sound like someone like Marty here, but I feel like I was in the league when it was a little bit different, a little bit more old school, and there's a certain respect that guys had for things that you could say, things that were appropriate to say, and maybe not on camera, but things that the line was kind of pretty clear where you couldn't cross. And I feel like I like to try and stay on that side of the line. So I think that sometimes, especially social media, sometimes things get kind of blown out of proportion. I think also there is a tendency for that line to get a little bit. It gets a little more blurry now. I think, as you know, when you played, it was pretty set in stone.
Are you saying guys go over the line more now than they did like 10 years ago?
I just think I try to stay on the right side. I think, and I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things where I'm not sensitive, or I don't think like.
Yeah. Okay.
But there are certain, and you know more than me. I think as I've come along, I know the older guys. There are unwritten rules, and you kind of learn them from the older guys, and I'm sort of cognizant of that, and I try to respect that line, and so as a result, I think mine are usually pretty simple. I think they're not they're nothing like too offensive, I hope, or nothing too crazy. So
you don't
I'm
sound
trying
like
to figure
that guy.
out.
You
Yeah.
sound like a guy that just gets heated and then it's over, right?
Yeah.
That's the way it is. So.
Yeah. It's one of those things where it's an emotional game, and if guys can use it to sort of fire themselves up, fire their teammates up, it has maybe has an impact, but yeah, I'm always trying to keep it respectful to a
Your
degree.
better chirps were probably to your own teammates when you were doing better Two Stalls.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe.
Why does Samuelson have a goal sign?
Yeah, I know, seriously.
These are all valid questions.
I almost asked him on the bench this morning as he was watching the morning skates.
Amazing.
So.
Jeff, thank you, and enjoy tonight. We appreciate the time.
Thank you, guys. Thanks.
It's Skinner 1000 night. Get there early. First 10,000 get the Skinner beanie. It's also an extension of Dingus Day celebration tonight. First 5,000 in get the koozie giveaway. You can go to sabres.com/tickets for that.